Anyways, next is Dark of the Moon. I used to hate this movie. Because it came out when I was in like 6th grade. Okay, I was in middle school. I was a kid. I didn't really understand the idea of marketing, or even the idea of like being able to buy something after the fact, okay? I hated this movie because Ironhide dies. And I wanted an Ironhide toy. My thought process was, Ironhide is dead, so I'll never have one. That obviously isn't the case anymore because of marketing. So now I understand, like, I'm an adult. I'm 20 years old. Sure, I don't have money now, but I'll have money later. I can just buy one. So I'm able to look at this movie and actually enjoy it. This movie isn't that bad. Surprise, surprise. This movie is about a secret Cybertronian artifact that has made its way to Earth that previously had gone unmentioned. It just so happens that this time, it's Leonard Nimoy, who has crash-landed on the moon for some reason or another. We find out later. So, Leonard Nimoy, Sentinel Prime, has crashed on the moon in the 60s. That's why we went there. We went there to figure out what just crashed into the moon. Boom! It was aliens. But and, like, they're surprised. They're like, what? Aliens? But they already had Megatron! So once again, the government doesn't trust them. And Optimus goes and he saves Sentinel Prime. And they realize, hey, wait a minute, he has these things here. What are these things? Sentinel, what are these things? Why do you have these things, Sentinel? What are these things? And Sentinel's like, oh, I'll show you. And he kills Ironhide. And then he goes all Timberlake on him. And so you find out that the reason that Sentinel and Megatron were here on Earth, or Earth adjacent in Sentinel's case, was because they wanted to meet on some far-off planet and, like, use Earth's resources to repair Cybertron. But Megatron was here looking for the Allspark, but he was also here, I guess you could say that he knew that the Allspark was here, so he said come here so they could use the Allspark to repair Cybertron. But the Allspark was already on Cybertron, and then it got sent away. I don't. Something. Shia LaBeouf's British girlfriend has a boss who Wiki doesn't like because he's like hitting on her. Something. The Autobots explode in a rocket because they can't be trusted. Something. The boss is working for the Decepticons. Something. Autobots aren't dead. Something. Shockwave. Something. Chicago. Something. One of the coolest final battles I've ever seen. Because Optimus Prime is about to die again. And Megatron comes in and destroys Sentinel Prime. Okay, it always gets me kind of pumped to see, like, the bad guy work with the good guy. So seeing Optimus almost lose to Sentinel, and then Megatron kill Sentinel almost to help Optimus. I love that. But he doesn't kill Sentinel, and he's like, so the things that Sentinel had, I'm going back a bit. The things that he had were these, like, tiny teleportation devices that was bringing Cybertron to Earth, and they were going to use the humans as slaves to repair it. That's what's happening. So you have this imminent danger of, you look up in the sky and boom, here's Cybertron. And Witwicky's girlfriend goes to tell Megatron, she's like, hey, why are you working for Sentinel? And Megatron's like, I'm not working for Sentinel. And she's like, yeah, you are. And he's like, bitch. And then he goes and kills Sentinel. And he's like, I just want Cybertron back. You can have Earth, let me have Cybertron. And Optimus is like, no. And he murders Megatron. Like fatality style. He axes him in the face and rips his head and spine out. And then Sentinel's like, if only you could see it like I do. And he's like, shut up. And he, like, blows his head off, Optimus Prime style. These movies are kind of a hassle, man. Anyways, this is my least favorite one, Age of Extinction. I've seen it a couple times. The only thing I can remember is something Stanley Tucci, something Galvatron, something Kelsey Grammer, Grimlock, China something. Okay? It's cool that they bring in the Dinobots, but, hey, wait a minute. There's a secret Cybertronian artifact here on Earth that up to this point had gone completely unmentioned. That would be this thing called the Seed, which you unleash it, and it creates the metal that the Transformers are made of. What's this metal called, you ask? Transformium! So Stanley Tucci is using Transformium to create new Transformers. Using, like, the schematics of the Transformers. So you get someone like Stinger, who's based on Bumblebee. And then you get this guy who's like... He's like a secret project. And, like, it's obvious to anyone who knows who Galvatron is what's going on. But, like, even within the universe of this movie, like, it just doesn't... Like, he's creating a robot named Galvatron that looks like Megatron, but it's like a big twist that it's Megatron. Anyways, Galvatron, whoopsie-goo, here comes the do. Turns out, it's Megatron! And everyone's like, whoa! Ah! And then Stanley Tucci's like, wait a minute. I based this off of the guy that tried to kill us multiple times. He's evil? Why? So, like, anyways, Lockdown, Quintessa, TJ Miller, Mark Wahlberg. I hate Mark Wahlberg in action movies. I like him in comedies like Ted, or Ted 2, or Daddy's Home, but in a movie like this, I don't like him. For some reason, Mark Wahlberg is not believable to me as a tough guy. Even though, like, he legitimately is, like, a tough guy. He was a Boston street tough who, like, punched out a Vietnamese man's eyeball. Like, he got... Well, I guess that's a myth. But he beat... Like, he almost beat a Vietnamese man to death. Like 2 times. I'm not saying that he should be judged on that now. That's neither here or there. It's just that, like, I don't believe him. I believe that he's from Boston. I believe that he looks ripped, but I don't believe him as an action hero. So it really bothers me in this movie that that's basically who he's playing. But he's, like, supposed to be playing like an inventor. He's like a computer nerd. But he's Mark Wahlberg. I don't know. But then, of course, you have the love story. I don't understand why it had to be in this movie. You've got the idea... So, Mark Wahlberg, his character has a daughter. She's 17. She's hooking up with this dude who's like 20. And that's illegal. And, like, Mark Wahlberg's like, yo, what the heck? This is illegal. She's, like, a minor. And he's like, hey, man, it's okay, because this thing called the Romeo and Juliet law, where it's completely legal if our relationship dates back before either one of us was an adult. Which is a real law, but, like, the actors were already adults. Why couldn't she have just been his 19-year-old daughter? Why'd she have to be 17? Why, Michael Bay? Why? Why? Why do you... I don't... The movie just... Like... It just crams in... like an explanation for pedophilia. I don't understand it. These are the only things I remember about this movie. It's such a forgettable movie. Anyways, by the end of it, Optimus Prime is like, why is it that we are being hunted by those who created us? I must find out more. So he flies off into space for the 5th movie.